And turning to Northwest News, in the movies, the criminal pleads insanity to avoid prison. But in real life, it turned out to be just the opposite. A man who was committed to Eastern State Hospital was able to change an insanity plea to get out of the mental hospital because he didn't want to be forced to take medications indefinitely. The 22-year-old Luis Ballesteros was committed in 2011 after pleading not guilty by reason of insanity to charges from an assault in Touche. The Union Bulletin newspaper reports an appeals court ruling allowed him to change his plea yesterday in Walla Walla. He pleaded guilty to assault and burglary charges and now faces about 3 years in prison with credit for 34 months he has been detained. Washington Supreme Court says an effort to recall the mayor of Pacific can move forward. Cy Sun won the mayor's office on a write-in campaign in 2011, promising to rid the small town on the Pierce-King County line of corruption and patronage. Instead, the Supreme Court noted in its unanimous decision today, he has abused his authority in directing the police department to investigate his political enemies, has been arrested for interfering in a crime scene, and has failed to fill in key vacancies in the city government. The King County Superior Court judge approved 2 charges against him in the recall petition: that he used the police department as his personal force, and that he risked the town's liability insurance by not filling department head vacancies. The Supreme Court upheld that decision. The committee to recall Cy Sun said on its website it would begin collecting signatures in support of the recall as soon as possible. TriCities Airport officials told Port of Pasco commissioners that declining passenger traffic could threaten renovation plans. At the current pace, the airport should see about 300,000 boardings this year, down from 331,000 last year, and the first decline since 2009. The Tri-City Herald reports the airport needs at least 251,000 boardings to provide revenue for a terminal project that would be funded in part with bonds repaid by passenger charges. The airport director says boardings have dropped because of Hanford layoffs, federal spending cuts, and some airlines offering fewer flights. A 21-year-old Sunnyside man was sentenced to 6 years in prison today for the death of his girlfriend's 2-year-old son, who was left in his care. Juan Belvedere Lopez was convicted of second-degree manslaughter for the August 2010 death of the boy. The Yakima Herald-Republic newspaper reports evidence at the trial suggests Lopez struck the boy in the abdomen in frustration when he wouldn't go to sleep. Seattle Police Department has an old school tool it uses in community outreach efforts: a fully restored 1970 Plymouth Satellite police cruiser. The car is part of the Seattle Metropolitan Police Museum, a nonprofit that Officer Jim Ritter founded in 1997. Along with local car shops, Ritter and volunteers have restored 14 vintage police vehicles. Under an agreement with the Seattle Police Department, Ritter uses the Plymouth as his everyday cruiser. The initial idea behind the Plymouth was to use it as a community relations and educational tool and drive it in parades. But Ritter began to notice that people were attracted to the car, making outreach that much easier. That's going to do it for us here at iFIBER 1 News. I want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow night.